Alright everyone, how we doing? It's Pack the Lad here, and obviously as you can see we've Tekken 8 booted up, and Tekken 8's been out for about a week and I didn't get it on launch. Unfortunately I got it a day or two after, but as you can see in those in about 5 days I've been playing Reina, as you can see, you know. The character just really spoke to me, and I think she's really cool, and I've always loved, you know, the Mishimas. So I just thought that, you know, I've pushed Reina from obviously beginner ranks up to Vanquisher in about 3 hours of ranked playtime, so overall not too long, and you know, I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm really enjoying the character, you know. So yeah, I'm just going to jump right into it and start off with movement. Reina has the best movement of any Mishima. Really good sidestep, really good wave dash. Yeah, just great movement overall. Better than Kazuya, Jin, Devil Jin, better than all the Mishimas. Which is really handy because obviously whenever you're playing a Mishima you kind of want to, you know, space out and then use your electric to get whiff punishes and play keep out, you know. Yeah, really great movement. Next thing I want to get into is basic sort of game plan. Reina, obviously, story spoilers for anyone, is the daughter of Heihachi. So she shares a lot of sort of common traits with Heihachi in Tekken 7. She's all about sort of rush down, you know. She wants to get up close and personal and press you with jabs, down forward 1, jabs, down forward 1, electric, forward 4, forward 3, and then obviously mix in hell sweep and stuff there. As well, and also she is not obviously a pure Mishima, as you might be able to tell. If I do this, you'll see that she has a stance, Sentai stance, can be accessed by doing forward 3 off of certain moves. You can go into Sentai off of forward 2 by holding forward. You can go into it to, if you do down forward 1 then hold forward. If you do forward 2, 3 hold forward. What else is there? Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is there's plenty of ways to sort of get into Sentai, you know. And out of Sentai you have a lot of different options. You can do something like, say, Sentai 3, which is a very quick high heat engager that I believe is +1 on block. So pretty much. Oh, also you can go into Sentai off of Flash Punch combo. So if you hold forward after doing 1-1-2, she'll go into Sentai, which is great for sort of, you know, getting more. You obviously get plus frames after 1-1-2, and you go into Sentai and you can mix up your options to mix up your opponent, which is great. So yeah, as I said, out of Sentai 3 is her quickest option, heat engager, and is +1 on block, although it is a high so your opponent can duck it. Your next option out of Sentai would be Sentai 4, which is a mid, slightly slower and can be interrupted, but is heavily plus on block. If I just set Kazuya to block for a second. Opponent actions, standard block, here we go. So if I do... Nope, is that not the right thing? Yeah, it's here. Stand and block. Yeah, okay. So if I do, say, this, +4 on block, but can be interrupted by jab and a few other, you know, quick moves like down forward 1 and stuff like that. Another move out of Sentai is Sentai 1-2, which is actually armored, so it's a power crush. You can actually delay the second hit quite a bit, or you can do it right away. You can tell the slight timing difference there. I believe it is unsafe. Yeah, it's launch punishable on block, so don't be throwing it out, you know, willy-nilly. But if you think your opponent's going to challenge your, say they keep challenging your Sentai 4, you go for this, and it'll, you know, hit them. And then your next option out of Sentai is Sentai 1+2, which actually is safe at -6 and leaves you in Heaven's Wrath, which I will cover in a minute. It's just another stance that Reina has. Yeah, so it leaves you -6 on block, and I believe, if I'm not wrong here, I believe, yeah, so if you're in heat and say you land sorry, let me try that again. You can actually, if you're in heat, you can do, oh god, I'm trying to say something here, but you know, it keeps slipping my mind. Sorry, I've never really done this combo before, but I know that it works. If you do Sentai 1+2, go into heat dash, you can actually pick up a combo and do mad damage. The stage isn't really big enough to show off any combos, but yeah, you can get the idea. So Sentai 1+2 isn't bad, just keep in mind that it does leave you -6, but it leaves you in Heaven's Wrath, which is actually a punch parry, which I will explain in a little bit. Also out of Sentai, you can do Sentai 2 throw, so that would be 2+4. This throw here is actually unbreakable. You cannot break this throw. That's why it does so little damage. But if you have a lot of sort of chip damage racked up against your opponent, you can definitely use this to get quite a bit of damage. I believe that's everything out of Sentai, if I'm not wrong. There might be a few things I'm missing here, but yeah. Okay, so I'm going to cover her next stance, which is Heaven's Wrath, which is a lot like Heihachi had a very similar stance, but a very similar looking stance and sort of animation style, but they're totally different from one another. Heaven's Wrath is a lot slower to get into than Sentai. Mostly you want to go into it off of Hell Sweep, where if you do Hell Sweep 2 and then hold down, you'll go into Heaven's Wrath, and from here you can push Iron Hand, which is uninterruptible and a heat gauger. So say you take Hell Sweep, go into Heaven's Wrath, if somebody tries to jab check you there, if you do Iron Hand, it'll beat it every time, and it's a heat engager. Also out of Iron Hand is Iron Hand 1, and on counter hit I believe this goes into God, what does this go into? I believe it can go into, it's actually +13. Reina's electric is actually 13 frames if you get perfect electric. Obviously it's very tight. Most Kazuya mains will know that perfect electric is not easy and takes a lot of practice. And you don't have as long to sort of visually hit confirm if the Heaven's Wrath one is counter hit, but you know, it's nice to know that the option is there. And if you're actually against the wall, I believe you can get down to forward 2, if I'm not too slow. Yep. So you can do something like that. Nice chunky damage off of a counter hit fast high. You know, 12 frames, quite fast, and gives you a counter hit combo. So yeah, unfortunately the down forward 1-2 ender, or you know, follow up, only works against the wall. If you want this mid screen, you will have to go for perfect electric, which, you know, is not easy. Yeah, it's really tight. I'm not going to be able to get it, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying, but know that the option is there if you're good enough. Also, out of Heaven's Wrath, you've Heaven's Wrath 4, which is a quick double mid. I thought it actually looks like a mid-low, but it is mid-mid. I believe on counter hit both hits connect, but on normal hit, I believe just the first hit connects. So not a great option, but you can do, I believe it's, yeah, you can do Heaven's Wrath 4-2-2, and I believe it's better. Yeah, it's slightly better, but you know, it's still counter hit only, I believe, for the first 2 hits to connect with each other, you know. You have Heaven's Wrath 3-4, which is Hunt and Hawk. I just want to show this because it is ludicrous. If you do... I just want to take a look at Kazuya's health bar up there, right? Look at the amount of chip that does. That's like 5% on chip alone. It is crazy. You can actually see at the bottom there, it is actually 8... Is that 8 damage? And it's +6 as well, which is absolutely ridiculous. But it is, you know, it does take a while to start up, so, you know, be careful. Somebody could jab you out of that, then float you into a combo, and, but it's really good for racking up chip, you know, but just don't be using it too much, because you just will get jabbed out of it, you know. Also out of Heaven's Wrath, she has another unbreakable throw. This one does a tiny bit more damage, obviously not as much, but as I said, if they have chip damage racked up and you're, say, against the wall as well, this does, yeah, if you're against the wall, it does a lot more. So yeah. What else is out of Heaven's Wrath? Heaven's Wrath 1+2 is a armored move. -13 on block, so it is unsafe, but you know, it's nice to use if you think somebody's gonna try and check you with, say, down forward 1. I believe that's it out of Heaven's Wrath, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I believe that's it. So that's Heaven's Wrath and Sentai covered. I'm going to give a brief detail on, I believe this is called Insoku or something like that there. She kind of like dances around the screen and, you know, out of this move, I believe you have just, I think it's 2 moves? No, it's actually only the 1 move. You can also do yeah, it's pretty much just the 1 move. It's used to sort of make people come to you, and then, you know, you can use, I believe the name is Onsoku, but if it's not, the stance, to get into the stance is up 3 and down 3. So the down 3 stance, you only really have 1 usable move out of it, and it's this, which is a heat engager and a mid, and is only -8. So, you know, quite good in general, just something you might want to keep in mind. Say you're around this sort of range and your opponent's, you know, throwing out whiffs, you can do something like that and get a heat engage with punish, you know. I'm trying to think of things I want to show on block before I move on to actually detailing good moves to use in the sort of neutral. Omen. Well, Omen. Thunder God Fist, which is the same input as electric but with 1. Obviously it's unsafe. They've always been unsafe unless... I even believe Heihachi's Omen in Tekken 7 was -10, so, you know, still, they've always been unsafe. But Reina actually has a special property where you can do Omen 4, and it's now -7 and does chip damage, so it's actually safe. But I believe your opponent can duck this second hit if I'm not wrong. So be careful of that, but yeah. And it also causes like the wall sort of I don't know what the mechanic's called. It's not wall splat, but it's like a wall I don't know, wall stumble, is that what it's called? You know, where your opponent is like forced into the wall and they sort of like, you know, hit their back off the wall and sort of stumble forward again. It's good to keep in the pocket, you know, you can mix up like that if you don't want to go for, say, forward 4. What else on block is pretty good? Oh yeah, you've down forward 1, very fast at 13 frames. And also has one of the best ranges for a down forward 1 in this game. It hits from a mile away. You can stand about here and it'll still hit. It is crazy. Also has really good tracking for some reason. And you have 2 extensions from this, which is down forward 1-1, which is a high, and you've down forward 1-2, which is like Heihachi's down forward 1-2 instead. But you don't get a knockdown off of Reina's. You get a heat engager. It's a heat engager. So you go into heat, and then you can do, you know, whatever mix up you want. Yeah, it's pretty good. Do I have the character? Yeah, I have the character set to stand and approach. I was wondering why he's coming near me. Stand and please. Yeah. So, lows. I'm gonna talk about lows now. Reina doesn't have great lows, and if she did, she'd be kind of broken. You know, quite similar to Heihachi in a lot of ways. Heihachi didn't have great lows in Tekken 7. Heihachi was sort of all about Hell Sweep, and excuse me, I have a bit of a cold at the minute, so but yeah, as I said, Reina doesn't have great lows. You sidestep 4, which is probably your best low, and if you look at frame data there in the bottom left, you can see it's actually neutral on normal hit. So, you know, it's not great, and it's done from a sidestep as well, so it takes, you know, some time to come out. You have another low in down back 4. This is sidestep 4, this is down back 4. Down back 4 is -2 on it, so you're minus, and does literally no damage, so it's not great. It's 16 frames, so not really useful for a punish either. It's kind of, if this is counter hit, you can do down forward or down back 4 1+2, which is only a combo on counter hit. And you get a knockdown, and you know, you get 31 damage, and that's in rage. Keep in mind, all the stuff I'm doing is in rage, so I get a bit of extra damage, you know. Yeah. Her next low is down back 2, which those of you who played Heihachi in Tekken 7 might recognize. It looks very similar to his down back 2, except it's nowhere near as good. I believe Heihachi's down back 2 in Tekken 7 left you like +6, +5 maybe? It was something really good. Reina's leaves you -3, so don't be throwing this out too much. And if they block it, I believe it is... hold on, I'll just set the crouch block here. Yeah, it's launch punishable, so you know it's not great. This is also -13 and sidestep. Excuse me, sidestep 4 is -13 also. So yeah, not overall too great. Great. Sorry about that. My voice is a bit rocky, but yeah. So those are Reina's lows. As I said, not great. But what I want to get into now is probably all the ways to pretty much all our heat engagers, because heat's very important in this game. You have down forward 1-2, that's a heat engager. You have Sentai 3 heat engager. You have I don't believe Iron Hand's a heat engager. Oh, it is. Iron Hand's a heat engager. I believe that may be it, although I may be missing. Oh, you have 443 is also a heat engager. Yeah, so all these moves are your heat engagers. The most important ones I would probably say is down forward 1-2. Also, Sentai 3 is pretty good, and Iron Hand Iron Hand specifically off of Hell's Weight into Heaven's Wrath, because it's uninterruptible, as I said earlier. Another little... Oh, I forgot to mention one more stance that Reina actually has. She has a misstep. If you just tap forward, she'll do like this little prance forward instead of a normal dash. It's like a, kind of like a little scuttle forward. She has a few moves out of this, if I'm not wrong. Maybe not. Yeah, I think she only has like the one, but Misstep 3 is a counter hit launcher, which is, really good. So yeah, Reina doesn't have too many counter hit launchers, so it's good to keep in mind of your stuff, Another counter hit launcher she actually has is, I believe it's this. If you do down 3 plus 4, 4, the last hit, I believe, is counter hit. If I can actually just get the last hit by itself. Also, if the first hit lands, it's a counter hit, like throw, so, it's pretty cool. Yeah. If the last hit connects, it's a counter hit, so say they try to whiff punish you, you throw this out here, you can throw out the last hit, and, do it that way. You can also do it, you can do the first 2 hits, and, if they say, you only say you're doing, like, the first 2 hits, and you're like, okay, I'm not going to do the last hit, and then eventually, you do, and your opponent tries to press or hits you out of it, and then they get a counter hit launch. So pretty cool. So I think that covers all of her sort of stances. Some cool things about her stances again though is that Heaven's Wrath has a punch parry built in like Heihachi. Also Misstep has a punch parry built in as well, and also if you tap, I believe it's down, you get a punch parry as well. So yeah, pretty cool. I'm gonna see if I can set Kazuya to try and throw out a thing here. Trainer mode, offense, defense, CPU, opponent actions, controller. No, it wouldn't be a controller, would it? Sorry, I'm not that well used to Tekken 8's practice mode yet. Yeah, okay. You have to go to defense mode and then you do it. I'm gonna set Kazuya to do jab down forward 1, and I'm gonna try and punch parry the down forward 1 to see if I can get him to do it. Okay, we're gonna set him to do that, and then Hopefully he'll do this for us. There we go. So you don't actually get an attack off of this. You are plus 10 and you get a crouch dash. You know? I'm not actually sure how the punch parry works in Heaven's Wrath. I don't really use it that often, you know? But it is there, you know? Yeah, okay. That's enough of that. But yeah, you get a punch parry and you get plus 10 and a crouch dash mix up, which is pretty good. And if you heard my phone going off, that indeed was my phone. Yeah, so a few other cool things about her stance there for you. Sorry if this seems a little uncoordinated. I don't have this scripted out or anything. I'm just sort of, you know, firing things out as it sort of comes to me, you know. Yeah. Continuing on, I'm gonna give you a few of Reina's key moves that I think you need to use, and a few techniques that you don't necessarily need, but would be a great benefit, seeing as she is actually a Mishima, you know. First off, I'm gonna cover the techniques that you need. Wave dash. You need wave dash to play this character. This is how you push your mix up, you know. It is currently like 5 AM here and I've been playing all night, so my thumbs are a bit tired, so my wave dash isn't as good as it would have been earlier, but you know. Yeah, learn wave dash, you know, basic Mishima stuff. This goes without saying, learn Korean backdash. It's just the same input as wave dash mostly, but just, you know, the other direction. If you don't know the inputs for these, you want to do back, quarter circle roll, sort of, and then back immediately after, but it's very fast. It's kind of a weird movement to get used to at first, but once you get used to it, you know, it feels totally sort of natural. And then wave dash is kind of the same thing. I play on pad, so it's different between pad, stick, hitbox, all that sort of thing. Whatever you controller you play on, I suggest you look up people who can explain it better, you know. Unfortunately, I can't really explain how to do it. I'm not that great, you know, but it's kind of like if you double tap forward and then you kind of just rock your thumb back and forth between forward and down while getting down forward, and it kind of just comes out, and you just have to do that quite fast, you know. You can see my inputs over there. I don't have the fastest wave dash, I don't claim to be great at it, but you know, like, it gets the job done, you know. Something's better than nothing. Okay. You're gonna need your just frame electric inputs down as well. Not just for electric, obviously, you need it for this move. War God Kick, I believe it's called. This has a just frame input. This is pretty much how Kazuya has Devil, you know, Steel Pedal, to sort of mix Oki up after Hell Sweep. Reina has this instead. So say you get a knockdown. If you get a counter hit knockdown, you can do War God Kick, and it will be guaranteed. And you can get it off of a few other things as well. But I'm not going to go into every sort of situation, just sort of like key ones that come up, you know, quite often. And most of the time whenever I'm using War God Kick, it's mostly just after counter hits with forward 4. Mostly, I do use it in some other situations, like if my opponent's trying to stay on the ground. If my opponent's trying to stay on the ground to avoid, say, Hell Sweep or taking forward 4. You can do War God Kick and, you know, it'll hit them on the ground, flip them over, and then you can continue wave dashing just like Kazuya, you know. And then obviously you need it for electric as well. Probably the most important toolkit in Reina's arsenal, or most move in her toolkit, you know. Yeah, so practice your basic Mishima sort of stuff, and trust me, you'll do a lot better with Reina if you have solid Mishima sort of techniques in your bag than you would if you didn't, because she is, you know, Mishima with a few stances and vibes and tricks, you know. And don't get me wrong, I've been playing Tekken for about 3 years now, and I'm mostly playing just Mishima characters, except for maybe Dragunov. Dragunov is the only sort of, you know, non-Mishima character I've put serious time into. In Tekken 7, I touched him, I played him a little bit in this game, you know, but not much. And also Lee, I've played Lee a tiny bit as well. But I've played for 3 years in Tekken, so, you know, a lot of this stuff is just kind of muscle memory from every sort of game, you know, from Tekken 7. And, yeah, so don't be discouraged if you can't get it right, you know. A lot of time, this is from literally thousands of matches playing Kazuya and Jin and Heihachi in Tekken 7. And, you know, just practice, you know, as I said, just practice. And eventually you get it. Even now, you know, I still whiff electrics a hell of a lot. I'm not as consistent as I would like to be. But, you know, yeah, just practice. That's all you can really do, you know. Yeah. So that's my basic advice for the techniques that you need to learn. As far as important moves go, I mentioned a lot of them explaining. 4-4. This move is great. As I showed you, kind of hit knockdown into War God Kick. War God Kick is just the electric input. It has a non-just frame version, and it has an electric version. The non-electric version is -13, but the electric version is -9, so you want to learn how to get that electric version so you don't get punished, you know. But on knockdowns, it's not as important, you know. You can do the normal version, that's just fine, but you don't want to be getting the normal version whenever you're trying to, I don't know, say you're trying to, you know, hit somebody who's ducking expecting a hell sweep. If you get the non-electric version, you're getting punished for it. Another important move, I would say, is 4-4-2. 4-4-2 is great. 4-4-2 goes into Sentai 3 on hit. And I'm not good at it yet, but you should really learn to sort of hit confirm this. You want to learn how to hit confirm 4-4-2 into Sentai 3. A lot of arenas I've played and seen will just do 4-4-2 into Sentai 3 willy-nilly, and I'm guilty of it too. I've done it. But you really shouldn't, because eventually opponents will start to, you know, Sentai 3 is high, so if they block the 4-4-2 and you go into Sentai, they can duck, you do the Sentai 3, you look like an idiot, they duck it and they launch punish you, you know. You want to learn how to hit confirm this, and how you do that is just set the dummy in the practice mode to random block. And then you want to try and, you know, sort of visually, you know, hit confirm this, and you do need to be fast about it. But, you know, as you can see, I've literally never practiced that, and I'm getting it, you know, decent. So, you know, spend, you know, half an hour trying to just, you know, try and be able to hit confirm this pretty consistently. and it'll be a lot better because then you won't be getting ducked and launch punished, you know. Yeah. So that was Ford 4 and Ford 2. Obviously with Ford 2 as well, you don't have to do Sentai 3. You can do Sentai 4. You can do Sentai Unbreakable Throw. You can do Sentai 1, 2. I don't recommend it, but you can. You know, you can do all the different Sentai options. Also, I forgot to mention, off of Heaven's Wrath 1, you can actually go into Sentai, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So that's Ford 2, Ford 4, Electric I've covered. This is your main launcher. Keep out tool, launcher, you know, it's electric. If you've played Tekken, you probably have an idea of what the electric is and does, you know. But Reina actually has another launcher, which is down Ford 2. This is your easy mode 15 frame, so, you know, if you are really struggling to, you know, block punish with electric, which is tricky, I still miss it, you know, a lot of the time, but you really should learn to do electric on block punish. But if you're really struggling, or feel like you'd rather go for the down Ford 2, it's there. The combos are a lot stricter. Well, they're not a lot stricter. I haven't fully worked out what I want my combo to be for down Ford 2 yet. I mostly just do something like this, and then, you know, continue it. But I'm sure there's something, you know, more damaging somewhere that you can probably do. You probably do something like that. Let's see. That probably only works against the wall, but, you know, you guys can test it out and, you know, try and work out a combo for yourselves. Another important string, I would say, is I would say Ford 2, 3 is pretty good. It's good by itself, you know. It's fast high 13 frames, so this is your 13 frame stand-in punish, I believe, or it might be, no, your 13 frames down Ford 1, definitely. But this goes into Sentai. I mostly use it as combo filler, as you can see. Most of my combos consist of this. Yeah. I don't know if I'll cover combos in this video. If you guys want sort of combo video on Reina, I'll try and cook one up. So yeah, let me know in the comments. As I said, I've been playing all night, so my hands are a bit tired, but yeah, trying not to, you know, listen to me making excuses. What else is there to cover? What other strings is there, or main moves? I covered the Omen. I keep calling it Omen. Thunder God Fist. I covered the Thunder God Fist. Covered Ford 4. Oh yeah, I should probably talk about back 2. This move's a menace. Holman, tracks, you know, same thing. Yeah, it is godly range. Unfortunately, you don't get much from it. You just get a tiny bit of damage, but you know what? Like, this is keep out if ever I've seen it. You know, you can do this from like half screen away, and you know it'll still hit. So, great move. This is a way to sort of keep people from sidestepping your hell sweep and stuff like that. There. I'm going to talk about hell sweep now. Actually, as I said, hell sweep goes into Iron Hand if you hold down. Then that gives you all your Iron Hand options from earlier. You can do Hell Sweep 4-4, which I'm actually not sure what this is for. If you're going for Hell Sweep, you may as well just go for... Oh, it's for plus frames, okay. Yeah, this leaves you +2, whereas Hell Sweep ending in 2 leaves you -1. So, that's probably why there's 2 different enders. I don't think the second hit of Hell Sweep is counter hit like Heihachi's. Oh, it is! I didn't know that actually, see? I'm learning something today. Yeah. I think I've covered all key moves. You might be wondering why I'm not talking about forward 4-3. And it's just because forward 4 just is better in every way. Like, yeah, it's not a heat engager, but, you know, this does how much damage? 22 damage. This does 22 as well, you know. Keep in mind, I am in Rage, so I will do 10% more extra damage, but yeah, they're both the same damage. This one's slower. Also has less range, if I'm not mistaken. Like, if I'm standing here, like, this will hit, whereas I'm gonna have to stand back a little bit. This will hit, whereas if I do, you know, it won't hit. And if you want a heat engager, you can just, if your opponent is actually crouching whenever forward 4 actually hits, it's actually, you get down forward 1-2 guaranteed. So there's your heat engager, you know. Whereas if you do this, you just get 22 damage. So not really much point in using forward 3 or forward 4-3, sorry. If you want to, you can. I mean, nobody's stopping you. I'm not your dad. Do whatever you want. But yeah, wouldn't recommend it over forward 4. Forward 4 is just a great sort of, you know, tool. Standard Mishima move is while rising 4, and you can do this quick from wave dash by, you know, wave dash, and then you wanna practice how, like, getting this really quick. You know, +5 doesn't do much damage, but you know, +5 is nothing to sneeze at, and it's a good mid check as well. If you don't want to commit to say forward 4, you want to just do a quick sort of mid. You're +5, you know, it's not bad. What else can I talk about here? I don't really use any other moves with Reina, you know, like most of the stuff I do is just electric, forward 4-2 Sentai, down forward 1 heat engager, Hell Sweep, Heaven's Wrath, down back 2. I actually use down back 2 more than I should. I should really start using sidestep 4, but yeah, that's mostly just what I do with Reina, and then, you know, I try my best to, you know, get into Sentai and do mix. That's pretty much what this character's about. You want to pressure them with, you know, Mishima stuff, trying to get in, and then once you're in, you want to get into your stances and just, you know, cause absolute havoc with your mix in your stance, you know. Suppose we'll talk about our actual heat moves now. So this heat smash, it's a standard heat smash, or is that heat burst? I'm not sure. It's standard anyway, you know, and I believe this is heat smash, and the other one's heat burst. They're both standard heat procedures. She has heat dash off of forward 4-3 is a heat dash. I believe Iron Hand is a heat dash as well. You can heat dash off of Iron Hand. It is. I showed it earlier. Sentai 3 is a heat dash as well. Yep. I believe that might be it. I can't think of any more, although I don't use heat dash too often, so You know. But the cool thing is, if you're actually in heat, she has a different heat smash. If you're in Heaven's Wrath stance, it turns into a hell sweep. It does less damage than the standard sort of heat smash that she has, but you know, it has the nice factor of actually being a low. So if I'm in heat, I'll usually do something like Hell Sweep, Heaven's Wrath, go into Heat Smash, and it's kind of like a double Hell Sweep mix up, you know. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for heat. There's, you know, lots of ways to get into heat with Reina. You can do, you know, you can do like standard stuff where you can just, do a combo and then go into heat smash or heat burst. Sorry. Or you can do stuff, you know, you can do. Sorry. Ugh. As I said, I have a bit of a cold, so my head's a bit foggy, and I'm trying my best here. And Reina is a very complicated character, as you can see. Yeah, so you can do it the normal way in a combo, or you can, you know, heat engage her with 442 Sentai. Sentai 3. You can do Heaven's Wrath, Iron Hand, 443. You know, there's a lot of different heat engagers with Reina. If I'm not wrong, I believe that's it. This is just a basic overview of the character. I can't really think of anything else to talk about. I know, as I said, I don't want to get too in depth with all the kind of setups and stuff you can do. This is kind of just a video for all the big setups, you know. But as I said, if you guys want to see like a combo video for this character, or maybe some sort of like most popular sort of mixes and stuff like that, there like 50/50s and different things, let me know and I'll try and get that out to you. Keep in mind, I've only played this character for about 5 days, so I don't know everything, and this is just what I've sort of picked up from playing the character and seeing other people play the character. But yeah, I think that is about it on my end. So basic summary of Reina is rushdown character with half Mishima, half stance mix. So you want to practice both your Mishima stuff and learning all your different stances and stance options and what your moves and stance do. So you want to practice your wave dash, 444, electric. If I can do an electric, there we go. Your war god kick, your hell sweep. You know, all the good Mishima stuff. And then you also want to practice safe and, you know, really good ways to get into Sentai and Heaven's Wrath. The best way to get into Heaven's Wrath is Hell Sweep. That's what most people say. But you can go off of a few other moves, like up back 1 puts you in Heaven's Wrath. And I'm sure there's a few other things you can do as well. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, drop them down below. I'll try and get to them. Sorry I haven't been replying to comments or uploading as frequently. I've been sick for a wee while and a lot of stuff's been happening, you know. Just haven't really had time to sit down and record, and haven't really had any ideas, you know, worth recording. Until Tekken come out, and then I said, you know what, I'm enjoying playing Reina. I want to, you know, tell other people what I think and hopefully help a few of you out if you are interested in playing Reina. Yeah. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. if you want to see a combo video and a sort of I don't know, like sort of most common things in like stats and stuff, so like how I covered 442 and the Sentai 3 and different things like that there, leave it down in the comments too, let me know, and yeah, I'll see all you guys later.